Welcome back, everyone, to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite, where we are about 2 hours into the semifinals competition, which means that we have an hour left before queues close and we find the final 100 players that are going to be moving forward into our grand finals in just a few moments, chat. I'm your host, Hello Kelly Link, and we have Fallout and Sancho West calling all of the action here.
Wow.
We've gotten to see some incredible plays so far, and we obviously got to check in on Benji Fishy's perspective right there, although it wasn't the stellar performance that we got to see out of his first 2 games. But Sancho West, we did have some great plays.
We did. But why you gotta do my man Marine like that, man? Why you gotta show him going down the Iron Man? It all happens. Iron Man's Union Beam is strong. It hits hard.
Didn't Iron Man kill Reet as well? Or I'm sorry, eliminate Reet as well, like last week or 2 weeks ago? Iron Man, the VP right now.
Don't mess with him. Don't mess with him.
Good, you know, but I have a feeling though, Iron Man is going to absolutely dominate the next game.
Get out of here. Okay, iDrop is going to be in first place with 319 points. We got Wolfies in second. Rifla is going to be holding out third place. Mr. Savage from 100 Thieves is going to be in fourth place. And then we have Grizzy Nate in fifth.
I'm telling you, watch out for iDrop. iDrop is an up-and-coming star in the EU region. No doubt. Hopefully we get to catch him here in the broadcast. But these are the players, Kelly, that they're going to be a little bit yikes, as Lecce is sitting at the 100th place right now.
Ooh, and it looks like we do have a bit of a mix-up right now because I do see a few names repeating. That does happen sometimes, especially with the scoreboard constantly updating, chat. But yeah, Lecce somewhere, either in 100th or 102nd. Either way, not a great look.
Yeah, and also, I was going to say, Fallout, Analyx that we saw there, took that gamble of being on the low ground, got taken out by the storm, just showing how dangerous Stark Industries can be, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. We got some highlights here. We got to see what Benji did, and that was disgusting. But, you know, you're right, dude. And I talked about it earlier, but, you know, I personally, as a caster, as a player, I am not a big fan of vertical finishes, verticality, elevation. And, you know, with the creation of Stark Industries, replacing the most flat area on the map, Frenzy Farm, that's all you're going to get more often than not. That's why 3 or 4 games in a row here, Sancho, we've gotten nothing but elevated finishes.
Frax actually took down
I didn't know that.
And steered 6.
I love you, observers.
Great play. Yeah, that was a great look on that.
They catch everything.
Using gravity as a duo partner there.
Ooh, I like it. I do want to give a shout or a mention, though, that Lecce is currently in 102nd place, and he's in 104th right now. The current threshold is 162 points. So when we jump in this 4th set of games, everyone, make sure to pay attention to how many points they have on the bottom center of their screen to see if they are currently in the same pace to qualify. But everyone, I believe that is it here for us right now. Congratulations to the players that are performing well, but we still got an hour and 5 minutes left before queues close. It could be a drastic difference over the next set of games, but that's going to be it for me here. I'm going to leave it, of course, to these 2 gentlemen to take it away.
Thank you so much, Kelly. We are going into our 4th game on the broadcast, and we're going to be watching a lot of action throughout the entire 1,500 players, 15 matches that go from. But Fallout, what has so far been your favorite play that you've seen?
Ooh, we've gotten some good ones, and I appreciate the little things and the small things. And I know it wasn't really flashy. We saw a couple good plays from Steelix. I hyped that up in game number 1.
Yes,
you know, his ability really in shambles with no HP and not a lot of mats to his name to get a couple eliminations. That was great. Italian Stallion doing it big. But for me, that small play from Benji with the pressure of 2 players, the third party looming, finds the quick elimination with the crash pad, uses the crash pad, I think he recycled it actually, to get out of danger, turns, does enough damage to get that player to back off away from him and says, hey, don't you dare chase me, makes it to late game as a result. I love plays like that. Not the flashiest play, but it's the small things that really do make a difference. And with Benji, all those small things add up.
Yeah, and all the small things could net you the victory royale, as we saw Frax in our previous get the victory royale just by taking out Bills. But it is iDrop and Mr. Savage, our top 10 in the leaderboard. It's going to be an exciting match as iDrop is sitting in first place and Mr. Savage is coming in at 4th. And here they go, going in for the Stark Industry drop. And this is going to be exciting to watch as Savage does disengage. And I drop here, our #1 man in the lobby, in the leaderboard as well. Let's see if he comes up on top. Get some nice beans on Gingers. Ooh, got to close that out, though, considering that is going to be a very powerful loadout. He's going to have to close this door as all that heals that iDrop was planning to use. But Gingers is going up, and iDrop is now sitting on 2 HP. Going to have to use some of the Bandy Gun. This is going to be a big-time competitor to get out of this lobby here, Fallout. And iDrop, intelligently, I would say, disengages.
Wow, that's what makes the difference. And then with the SMG, that's a green SMG, a gray pistol, and an absolute dream. iDrop gets the elimination and thwarts off the danger. I love what I'm seeing from iDrop. That was brilliant. The man from Norway. Sorry, it's early over here and I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. The man from Norway, the Norwegian from Norway, with a strong performance shows why he's in first place.
And already, elims are popping off in the feed. Triada Dand gets an elim, landing here outside near the old school Frey Islands in Coral Castle. Strong start there. And already, if I'm in this lobby and I see that there's a there is iDrop and Mr. Savage, you got to watch out. As you're seeing here, Mr. Savage exploring the new ruins out in the middle where that used to be the Authority here. As we see a replay, picking up a Slender, gets a nice 180 pump right then and there. Big time elims, but this is going to be cool. I like the spooky vibe here, Fallout. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you and I both. I didn't even know this is a thing, to be honest with you. I mean, I knew obviously the Halloween thing was a thing. I didn't know the music was a thing because I actually haven't dropped over an Authority. Is now a little bit of a haunted house over here. You know, now it makes me want to go visit a haunted house in real life. Thank you, DreamHack. It's, you know, but there's DreamHack in Fortnite. There's COVID right now, and haunted houses are probably closed. So I'm going to find a virtual haunted house. Maybe I'll just go to the Authority in Fortnite.
Hey, on the public side of the Fortnite mirrors is real. What's really fun, if you haven't booted up your Fortnite in the wild, which I'm sure a majority of you have, but if you haven't dropped it into a public game, Fortnite mirrors is when you get eliminated, you turn into a ghost or a specter, and you could rain havoc on the remaining survivors of the lobby. It's a fun time. You have these superpowers and whatnot. But what I'm impressed with for our competitors right here who are performing as if they have superpowers themselves. A lot of heroic gameplay is happening as we're on board with another big name in the lobby, Kirachi, who's actually landing in Retail Row as a solo. So that's interesting as Wakey and Anas is here. Oh my, the who's in the zoo, as my boy Fallout will say.
Who's who in the zoo, baby? We gotta see who's gonna be the lead gorilla in the zoo. Kiriachi says it's me. 1 versus 1. Wakey versus Kiriachi. Good night. Wakey, you're just a little gazelle. As Kiriachi gets 1, not done yet, has to take out Anas. We all know how good Anas is. Become Legends' very own versus Virtus Pro, his very own. The Russian. Kiriachi gets 1. Can he get the second on Anas? Finds a slender third party from across the way. Needs to be very, very careful. Low mats, low overall weapons and ammo. Needs to be cautious.
As we're seeing there's Kirachi and Anas. Anas, part of the Thomas HD and Flick group. Kirachi, part of the Storming Right and Rotary group. And Slender, who already picked up an elim in the replay, is going to be the third party to try to introduce himself into this. It's as if that they were having a date and all of a sudden someone else just sat at the table like, excuse me, you cannot have these apps. This is not your date, sir.
That's exactly right.
That did not happen to me, by the way. I'm not trying to pull some
Has it ever happened to you? You sure? Is that something that you're talking about personal experience here? Is that personal?
I don't want to talk about it. Don't bring it up.
Oh man, we're just gonna change the subject here. We just learned a lot about Sancho there. Thank you for being vulnerable and being willing to really open up to the stream. No, I'm just playing. Slender, Anas, Kiriachi. We thought we were gonna see a clash of the Titans, if you will, but instead the Titans say, yeah, hey, let's just do a little mutual agreement, mutual understanding. Let's just all go our own ways, and we'll meet up again later, and we'll fight later because that's obviously gonna be inevitable in the game of Fortnite.
Yeah, and speaking of later, we may be seeing some of these who's who in the zoo. kind of collide together as they might be running the asylum right now, because already we have iDrop in the lobby who plays the trios with Steer 6 and Vetto. We saw Steer 6 previously in a top 3 situation as Miro was in his lobby, but Miro gets taken out and Slender gets taken out. And Nas is Kirachi, I think, did he get a tag on that with that snipe?
I think he did.
Oh my, Nas has to feel good about that.
Is that a ukulele? Was that a ukulele?
The uke, baby. And Nas picks up a 2-piece on the third party of Slender and the big name of Kiriachi. Ooh, boy, we're going to have ourselves a great finish in this match that we're watching here today.
You hit him with the bop with the shotgun, then you hit him with the bop with the uke. That's what I like to see. And speaking of Fall Out Boy, I'd love to see a Fall Out Boy ukulele rendition. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. Valley, our producer and team in the chat, overlay in the chat. Please go find that on YouTube if you don't mind. That would be fantastic for you and I's viewing pleasure. And any other Fall Out Boy fans out there, I got to keep giving love to our production team and to our great Swedish team that does so much work, pulls all-nighters for us, does amazing things. As we take a look at, speaking of our production team, finding us a replay of Zestful raining death from above with 2 frags. 1 and 2.
Now the question is, Fallout, just a quick story. As we have these quiet moments.
Yeah.
These lulls. Where is the story behind the gamer tag Fallout with 2 T's?
Yeah, so here's the interesting part. I was 13 years old. I liked the band Fall Out Boy, and someone said, you should make your gamer tag Fallout. And I was like, that actually sounds really cool, because I was trying to become an MLG pro. You know, fast forward 7 years, and actually fast forward like 2 years, I became an MLG pro. But then I made a Twitter account, and Fallout with 1 T was taken. So I'm like, oh, what do I do now? I want an OG Twitter account. It was 2009, believe it or not, 2008 maybe. And I just added the 2nd T. I was like, I'm not going to go with numbers or, you know, a clan tag or anything like that. And then the 2nd T just kind of stuck, and here we are now.
And here we are with another big name in the lobby. It is Aqua, part of that deadly trio of Reason. Aqua and Noah Riley landing in Doom's domain. But we're seeing some different drops from some of the trios. They understanding the power of other drops, like a Stark Industry, as we're taking in the feed. Mr. Savage getting a mid-air elim on Hygamoro. So, Savage, Aqua, Anas, iDrop. The list goes on and on. But I don't know who's going to come up on top here. It's going to be hard for me to pick. Who do you got in the names that we've already listed, Fallout? And then I'll kind of piggyback and Price is Right you and pick somebody else.
Yeah, right. Jim, you're just hitting me with the games today. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be that guy that just ignores this specific direct question. Say who I got in the whole thing. I'm like what I'm seeing out of Benji overall. He's in 12th place coming into this game. I haven't refreshed in some time, but we know that Benji played very, very well. From what I saw, I like what I'm seeing. If Benji doesn't win this lobby, he wins the tournament. If Benji wins this lobby, he doesn't win the tournament. You might be like, Fallout, you're superstitious, you're nuts, you're ridiculous. There's no such thing as luck. There's no such thing as superstition. But riddle me this. Why has no one that's won a semifinal done even remotely decent in the grand final? You know, it takes a lot to put that level of effort into dominating a semis and then dominating a finals. And I'm telling you, fatigue in esports is a real thing. It is a grind for a full day of 8 to 10 hours of competitive, play at your best Fortnite. And I think that's part of it. I really do.
And the big change as well is it's going to go to a set lobby. So the question that I kind of mentioned is Aqua not landing in Doom's domain, maybe giving that up to Benji Fishy. Of course, it changes when you're a trio. You have your backup of your other 2 mates to kind of help you out with a deadly player like Benji. But maybe when you're out on your own, you know, it's better not to kind of contest. As now we're seeing another strong like POI here. Craig Eclipse has been showing up as Kylix here has a visitor in Awa. Now they have a great build up here. I don't think Kylix does not want any of this. Smart. Very intelligent here. Because you know why? Because placements they're not even dulled out yet. Or maybe just wanted the high ground position, Fallout.
That's exactly right. High ground is everything, as we know. Kylix. By the way, I'm a fan of that gamer tag. You know, we got Steelix, we got Kylix. These are some pretty bad you know what gamer tags. As Kylix, though, just because you have a cool gamer tag doesn't mean you can make it. 115 points, needs to step up big, and he needs to start with this elimination. Currently on their back foot. I'm not sure it's looking great, but with a pump shotgun, with a purple pump especially, all you takes is one headshot to turn things around. There it is! Kylix with the must-win elimination. He gets it. Kylix continues. Meanwhile, Janice finding Link in a 1v1. Link, our winner from heat number 2, I believe, yesterday. Maybe it was heat number 1. Janice going to get taken out, though, the third party.
Oh, my.
Just unfortunate.
I was going to say, that's the champion, a solo champion right then and there in this fight as well. And Queasy is here, and the big names will start to collide with each other. And I feel like the EU, like I was going through the list, easily 150 players, 200 players of just big names throughout the region. And if you are a fan of EU, you know this, but if you're in the NA, you got to pay attention. As I mentioned, NA East, especially NA West, is a very top-heavy type of talent pool. You're going to have some strong players, maybe some surprises here and there. But the EU, as you see in that mini map on the left side of the overview, ooh, Heretics, IKZs gets a nice snipe as the snipes have been popping. I'm telling you, from the top down, it's just so much talent, so much high skill here. As we're going to maybe see another one. Oh, not on Queasy. Don't do this to Queasy, as Queasy does get a shield. Don't do. Oh, okay. Okay, that was close. Link actually, a cousin from Kelly's heritage somewhat, gets that elim net then there.
You know, I never actually, I'm just going to be honest here. I'm going to be a little vulnerable. I really like Kelly, and I'm really, you know, I consider Kelly a friend at this point. She's shared a lot of empathy with me with a lot of crazy things I've been going through the last couple of weeks, and I appreciate that. I didn't know, and I'm shameful, I didn't know Kelly's last name was Link. I thought it was just like a cool gamer tag. But Kelly not only has an awesome gamer tag, she has an awesome name, and I'm kind of jealous, you know, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like she has awesome parents as well that are like gamers. I think Kelly got the whole package, to be honest with you. She's great people.
Definitely great people. And now Isaac now in a great situation is Shizo, who was sitting on top of the board, finished number 1 in one of our heats, picks up that elim, as Esterize has an issue as well, and we're seeing on the right side, and Savage is sitting pretty, just chilling in the cone, but is Esther here having a big situation to solve. And I like how it's the juxtaposition of the two. Savage chilling in the cone, looking out, and Esther is having some problems with some pressure. But down he goes from Nate. Nate, another big name in this lobby.
Insane. Mr. Savage on screen with 2 eliminations. He is popping off today in 4th place right now and counting with 1,100 mats to his name. Mr. Savage has a good inventory. Mr. Savage has a good opportunity, and Mr. Savage is gonna do savage things. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot drop. Imagine. No, maybe not.
I was hoping that would be true for you, because that would have been
cool.
phenomenal.
That would have been really cool. Sometimes it happens.
Phenomenal call.
You know? Yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you get lucky.
But now Mr. Savage is not in a great position, as Nate is on the other side of this pinch here, and here comes a vehicle flying by. But we did see a taste of the Witch's Broom being great utilized by Savage, able to make a great rotation here. Now, it would not be wise for him to pop it. The cooldown should be very, very close, but he does have it as a back pocket here. But I think he's going to go for a foot tag here, but no, Savage gets tagged. He gets the big brunt of that exchange, and now Nate is, though, going to try to find Savage in this opportunity, as we're seeing the replay of Nate climbing further up the leader with the elim on Mac Ball right there in the elimination here. Can Nate get up a little bit further, getting 5 points? And what would be a big time 5 points to get that from Mr. Savage?
That's exactly right. This would be big. Mr. Savage is in a great spot, though. I don't want Mr. Savage to force a fight that he does not have to force. And I don't have to tell him that, because he's Mr. Savage. He's, you know, one of the best players in the world, if not arguably the best player in the world. He knows that he has a great loadout, great positioning in circle, and just needs to stay alive for late game. He knows how to adjust, and it's amazing as we see Anas getting a double elimination with a lock and loaded green pump action. I like what I'm seeing out of Anas. So far, so good, as Anas took out one at the beginning. A Titan, we said. I think that was Kiriachi, and just gets a couple more.
That was a nice replay that we just saw in one of our early engagements here. This is game 4. This is not a set lobby. This is just the game 4 on the broadcast. Lobbies are happening everywhere. The 1,500 players will get kind of pared down all the way to 100 players. So that's, I'm getting hyped for the names, but to see these names early on and by the midpoint is very exciting for us here at CTK, who had a very exciting finish coming into 2nd place in one of the matches that we saw on the broadcast. Looking at the kit, looking very good here. Doesn't have that many power weapons. The concern would be the lack of mobility beyond the Witch's Broom. If you can see, you got that Witch's Broom. It's just like the Silver Surfboard. You're going to get beamed out of the air, especially on a tight zone like this, as we're getting closer to Zone 4 being revealed in about 30 seconds.
Exactly right. Zone 4 is when things get a little crazy. This is also the time that you sometimes see some storm surge start to take effect, as of course we start to get the half and halves, but not sure if that will be the case here. Given how many players are left and alive in this one, we will see 49 players, less than 50, less than half the lobby, as we've seen a lot of aggression. The theme of aggression has continued. Oh. And speaking of which, ZTK continues that theme with an elimination. They're just trying to say, Fallout, look, we hear you, you're right. Sancho's wrong. We play aggressive. We don't play passive for Lake. I'm just playing. Love you, Sancho.
No, he actually is statistically known to be very aggressive, and DreamHack is known to be somewhat aggressive, and at the same time, it kind of, once the placements get doled out, it kind of slows down a bit, because then everybody's like, yo, if I could just stay alive as long as possible, I will pick up points here. As you've seen that the Zone 4 does get revealed, a lot of people in Zone 3 were kind of jockeying for that center position. Center is such a strong focal point to play in, because your rotation does not have to be that long. Example, Savage right here only has to move a couple of grids right over to the right, and he's in and he's safe. And you already mentioned this before, Fallout. He does not want to lose this powerful loadout that he already has, and at the same time, he already expends so many mats in that battle between Nate and himself.
That's exactly right. This is where your mats do come so crucial for the late game, and if you don't come prepared for the late game, like I kind of made a comment last game, or maybe it was 2 games ago, if you don't come prepared with full mats, maxed out for late game, you're doing something wrong. I mean, that's your chance in the early game of that kind of roller coaster theme that we always talk about, right? The metaphor of a Fortnite game is like a roller coaster. There's a drop, then it slows down. There's a lull, then there's a drop, then there's a lull, then there's a drop, and it's the crazy drop at the end. And you have to use those lulls, those downtimes to get loot, to get mats, to do what it takes. As now Mr. Savage, actually we got a picture-in-picture action here. Mr. Savage is hunting like a savage lion for the gazelle. It's ZTK, and right now it's looking great for Savage.
We're seeing the way the 2 Witches Brooms going toe-to-toe, going back and forth. Savage was able to kind of change his position right there and close out that elim, 3rd elim for Mr. Savage. But that is what's going to be interesting to see how, if we go forward into the grand finals in DreamHack, is how the Witches Broom will become a factor for our pro players. Just literally introduced the day before, so you're seeing a lot of pro players kind of trying to figure it out. How can they implement it? Will it be a factor, as Zone here and 4 is actually going to be at Stark Industries? I think this is a different game that we may be jumping on. I have to double check.
Yeah, interesting. We'll see. Now Jake E currently with 120 points. We'll just keep talking about the action as we see it. Now, Jakey pushing, looking for an opportunity, finds himself a little bit of a recycled mat situation and a little bit of a house. And that's going to be a little bit of an elimination for Jakey. That's his first of the game here. 125 points. Jakey needs at least 5 eliminations in Victory Royale here if he wants to keep pace for a top 100 finish.
So this is the beauty of DreamHack. We're catching multiple games in action. We're seeing Anas in this game, and then on the other side, we see Savage in this game. So multiple games happening here. This is a game 4. This is like getting that chocolate yogurt and the vanilla yogurt, and you're swirling it up, baby. And we're swirling up this action right here, right now, as we're seeing the top names in different lobbies. We got Aqua and Savage in this lobby, Anas in the other lobby, but Savage using the Witch's Broom. What a very smart rotation. Gonna be able to make his way around as rep guard in this lobby as well, and gets tags on Aqua, who's sitting at height.
Exactly right. Back at it with Mr. S himself. He's like a teacher because he's absolutely schooling the entire lobby right now with how good he is, how pristine he is in his gameplay, his decision making. I continue to be so impressed by Mr. Savage, or Mr. S himself. He's the history teacher telling everyone, hey, I've been doing this for a lot longer than you. You better respect your elders. Meanwhile, Monaco Dookie is a player that's going to try and live up to his name by absolutely dominating everyone else.
We're seeing Jamside picking up ref's guard as another elim happening there with a Dookie. Nice one right there. As Mr. Savage is, we're going to keep an eye on, as he already kind of pushed Aqua off of height. Doesn't have height to himself as he looks over as Klim is sitting at there right then and there, but I think Savage is going to go for the big time play. Yo, gets a nice tag with the 180 use of the broom, and no doubt was not expecting that. Now Savage is going all the way into the box. Does he get this elim? He's chasing it down. Oh my goodness, what a big time highlight there, Fallout. Woo!
That's exactly right. The highlights continue to roll here. It has been so impressive what we've seen all day long. Mr. Savage is certainly no exception to that. We haven't watched a lot of him, but we know he's been putting on highlights for us. And guess what? We get to watch the man, the myth, the legend Savage himself in the late game here. 100 Thieves' very own DreamHack champion. We'll see what he can do.
Kind of gave me a PogChamp moment. Pogger right then and there is a simple elim comes out for Mr. Savage as he was just beaming through the box, but that's what just showing you how dangerous a utility item can be. As Savage is not done yet. This is basically recyclable utility, so he doesn't have to worry about a shockwave, doesn't have to worry about a crash pad. He can just rely on the movement of the Witch's Broom as he gets some sprays down in Nos. So looking very good, looking very strong. And as you hear that cackle of going off, so many other players are utilizing the Witch's Broom Fallout.
That's exactly right. And that, it's cool to see. Again, we always talk about the best players in the game know how to adapt, know how to evolve. It's adapt or fail, as we always talk about the Darwinism approach to Fortnite. And Mr. Savage is one of those players that is one of the best at doing that. He studies the meta. You think an update just comes and he goes, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna make a YouTube video and try to, get some clickbait views. No, Mr. Savage reviews that item, understands its impact and how it can affect him in competitive play, and either uses it or loses it from his inventory.
We have Mappy on the left side at height. Mappy getting a victory out in the semifinals. Going to go ahead and bolt off. And we see Nate getting the elim on the bottom right of the screen. So Nate, Savage have been going back and forth. Savage has someone right in front of him. Let's see who it is. It is Jamside right on Savage's door. He gets a tag on Jamside, and Jamside is in a pinch of himself. Savage gets the bleed through and gets the elim, but there's someone else right on the other side. Jules is hitting Savage really tight. Big time action happening on that. On the mid ground, it is Nate. Nate is having a clear movement opportunity, but here at height, it is Aqua that just contested and knocks down height, and now Aqua's actually sitting there. Wow, what a play as Mappy goes down.
Exactly right. Mappy, we know, our winner from one of our other games, doesn't have that same fate here, as now we're watching Grizzy's very own 4 eliminations as it currently stands. We'll see what Nate can do. On board now. Opportunity to, I thought he's going to jump and try and take high ground there with a side jump. Not going to do just that. A couple players go down. It's going to be Aqua goes down in the elimination feed that Sancho's reacting to.
Yeah, Savage actually taking on Aqua. That's big as we're in a top 11 situation. Nate, 4 elims, been chilling in the mid ground, avoiding the chaos on the low. Now we're seeing it is Savage on height, so you can get a perspective of Savage's POV. And Nate on the low ground picks up another elim. Now you gotta watch out. Nate could use the Witch's Broom to make himself to go up to the top, but it's Savage who has complete control. The question is, Fallout, can he withstand the stamina of holding height? Because he does not have that many builds.
That's exactly right. It's going to be a crazy finish. Nate getting tagged up quite a bit. Mr. Savage on high ground, though. He doesn't even want the high ground. He's going to actually drop into the action. He's feeling himself right now, and he's going to be a little careful to Screwy. He's nearby. Screwy right now going to try and take out the builds from Savage. Savage says, don't you dare, bud. I got the God builds, all right? It's not even season 1 anymore. I can do this in my sleep. I can close my eyes and do God builds and hold high ground. Who do you think you are, kid? You're not good, and you're not me, kid, says Mr. Savage, holding high ground right now, getting some good shots in. As it looks like Nate's going to pick up one as well at the bottom of your screen. Savage on high, Nate on low. Who's going to win? We don't know.
Oh my, Nate is cooking with 8 elims with only green HP. So he's gonna have to find that siphon. And Screevy is able to take that, but it's Nate who's doing it with like a 5 HP in a dream, 10 HP in a dream. Jakey down goes down to Savage. So now it's a battle between Savage and Nate. Can Savage close the door on the unbelievable run? It's just a matter of time. He holds him out to the storm with the walls. Savage with the elimination and the victory royale. Kind of like a submission hold there, Fallout. Big time victory royale.
We watched him and he delivered. Mr. Savage with the victory. Let's go ahead and jump to a quick break. That certainly will bring him to the top. We will find out right after this.